As students, they also get a tutorial from the master of Fixpert. But they did the film a bit like one of these kind of late night live TV, their take. So they talk a lot about the tension of presenting the work and late night confessions to the camera about using the wrong material or something. So every prison does their own character and type of film. Some of the Kingston students got their voice recording wrong, so they did a whole typographic solution. And some of the characters, all these different filmmakers. It's quite painful to see it like this, I think. So, sorry. Yeah, I think that's kind of one of the things that has been happening is that some inventions have been picked up. One of the stories is a third-year communication student in Kingston helped a local ambulance first response cyclist to design a tube holder for him for the airway. And got an order, after 3 weeks later got an order for 50 of these packaging designs from the London ambulance service. So that's kind of proof of for him at least, that it's worth doing these kind of social projects. One of the things that we're really keen on is that the whole process is seen in the film. So the conversation, the prototyping, the improvement of the prototyping, and the celebration. These are the kind of 4 stages of each film. And it's, again, you can download a worksheet or a way of doing it, but it's always a suggestion. What has been working is that I think it kind of gives designers direct contact with clients in a way that a lot of design education has forgot about. And a lot of people that are making and working in big offices don't get to experience. They work with clients, it's all through big screens, and the distance that has become part of industrial design and production is something that makes designers less and less aware of the actual users. And this gives an opportunity to do a very quick, hands-on and direct feedback project. So that's one of the biggest feedbacks that we had from people that have done it, is getting the feedback straight to them, not through marketing or through kind of information, indirect. So I guess that's it. That's Fixperts. And it's still very much in the early stage of this project. And if anyone's interested, please just email to hello@fixperts.org. And we are completely dependent on people coming in doing stuff like Jim, who's come in and done the programming and helped us think about it. The reason we asked Jim to help us was I saw this project WeFarm, which is about communication between different communities that don't speak the same language.
We'll put links up to all this stuff on the website. We'll do a blog post about this. So
yeah. Sorry, I know it's very frustrating not to see the film and to see them cut up like this, but they are online and they are short and sweet, some of them, and some of them do use 3D printers.
Yeah, just full screen it. Hi everyone, I'm a bit of a surprise entry to this, so I will keep it brief. Daniel asked me to come along because I was working with him on Fixperts today. And this is a project I'm working on currently as a kind of web developer. I'm a kind of web developer by day and a bit of a maker by evening. I kind of work with various different projects, including Fabadashery, who make 3D printing materials, if any of you are into 3D printing. But this is a project that I work on with the Cafe Direct Producers Foundation and Airside, which was a design agency that shut down last year. But this was kind of one of their last projects that we managed to get to do. The Cafe Direct Producers Foundation are a charity side of Cafe Direct who make fair trade tea and coffee. And one thing that's actually unique about Cafe Direct, many people probably don't know, is they do make fair trade tea and coffee, but they actually put some of their percentage of their profits back into other projects. And the Cafe Direct Producers Foundation are the kind of organisation that work with the farmers that they buy the coffee from, do interesting projects to promote social change, on things like working with them on climate change and various other different projects. And they work with a whole group of farmers across the coffee belt, basically, tea and coffee farms. So We Farm was a project that they came to Airside with and said, through working with our farmers, what we've noticed is a lot of them have common problems, they have innovations, lots of different ideas, but no way to share them. And there's also a very kind of a culture of like top-down information coming from different organisations that basically say this is the right way to do it, and then the organisation kind of runs out of funding, and then they go away, and then someone else comes in and goes, this is the right way to do it. So there's a lot of farmers kind of not really knowing who to follow, but generally don't share their ideas amongst each other or their skills that they have kind of passed through generations. So there we go. So there's some facts that kind of led to the project, which was 10% of farmers in Africa and Latin America have access to the internet. So the idea of sharing knowledge on the internet is just not going to happen. There's obviously no internet connection, there's no electricity or reliable power source at least. But the other kind of startling statistic is 90% of them have access to SMS, which is why a lot of mobile technology is, taking off like wildfire basically out there. We've got internet, mobile banking now via SMS and stuff like that. So this is it's probably a bit early for the get to that slide, I think. So basically, Cafe Direct said the closest thing we can describe it as is a social network for farmers who don't have internet access. And that was almost their brief to Airside. I started working on the project from a web development side of things. The other part of the project was that their budget was very, very small, being a kind of a charity organisation. So it was a really kind of hands-on, and I guess this was where one of the aspects of Nathan came into it, was we really had to just kind of think, what can we do? And grabbed kind of all the technologies that we could use, open source stuff. How are we going to send SMSs? How are we going to link SMSs to the web? Can we do this? What happens if this happens? And this is kind of basically the project that came out of it. So this is how it works, and this is actually a true story. So this is almost like our proof of concept that it does work. And this is from one of the presentations that Cafe Direct Producers Foundation gave. So basically it all starts with an idea or a question. So Jacob Katuma is one of the farmers that we've managed to successfully pilot this system with. So he has a question, and he texts his question to We Farm. How do I make money from rearing rabbits? Just had an idea, he doesn't know anything about it. David is a college student. Now, we've got a series of students that are basically language students, but also students that are interested in getting into the developing world kind of careers. And he volunteers 1 minute at a time to translate. He's got a smartphone, and he can essentially receive Jacob Katuma's question in English, and for instance, he is a Spanish student. So once he's translated that question, Jacob's question is sent around the entire coffee belt via SMS to various farmers that speak Spanish. And then we have Luis Alberto, who has an idea because he already farms rabbits and has some knowledge to share on that. He answers in his own native language. And one of the one of the many reasons for using a kind of third-party student translation is that Google Translate just doesn't cope well with all their kind of colloquial languages, all their terms that they use for farming. So for instance, in Kenya they call a farm a shamba, which is a garden, but that's just a term that they use, so again Google Translate falls down very quickly. And then once Lewis's question is translated in reverse, basically Jacob receives his ideas from crowdsourced farmers around the world. So this was the final slide, but this was kind of more to show the kind of technology. So at the moment we're cobbling this together, bouncing the SMSs off Android phones and using kind of solar panels basically to run them. Because in various pilots we were out in Peru, we had 5-day power cuts and all sorts. So as you can imagine, doing a technology project was quite a kind of hands-on part of it. But that was, so that's basically the overview of WeFarm.
Many thanks, Jim. It's wonderful. We'll take a 10-minute break so people can chat, get water, go to the loo, through the back by the door, and then reconvene with Paul. Thank you.
Start with the questions. That's the nature of what I do. I'm a programmer. But most of my work has been working quite closely with clients who need a technology solution for some creative project of theirs. So I do a lot of quite close working with artists, with people in TV who need software solutions for some other creative project that they're doing. So a lot of what I do is enabling people through technology and working very closely with clients who have particular needs. And I'm into that project I'm doing at the moment, which is, again, for me feels like a tool. It's something to give to other people to allow them to achieve something else they want to do. And this is one of our first users, it's a girl called Tia. She lives in Montreal. And you can see she's just made a small diamond sword. She's done this with a game called Minecraft. So what we're doing is simply taking a child's video game called Minecraft, which is very kind of popular. If you have kids who are between kind of 7 and 15, they probably play Minecraft.
Some of us adults do too.
Yeah, I do too much, slightly too much. And the idea of Dreamcraft is really quite simple. It's simply to take those skills that children already have in doing digital making and just pull that into the world of kind of additive manufacturing, these kind of sexy new technologies, and to give the kids very slight and easy access to those things. And if the network will let us, I'm going to try and get it working. I'll do a quick demo of what it does. Stop the chat. So briefly, it's a website, which is simply informational. So the actual interface for the child is the video game. So if I fire up Minecraft, try login. For those of you who play Minecraft, I'm just going to log in not as a bot. So there's 2 servers at the moment. There's an EU server and American server, and it's not because I need the capacity, it's just if I see if I can run 2 servers. It's kind of just bravado and kind of technically to see how I do that thing of running multiple servers into a single web service. So if you join the game, fingers crossed. Here we go. For those of you who don't know Minecraft, it's quite a strange game. It's a bit like, it's a kind of purposeless game. It's like virtual Lego. There aren't any rules, there aren't any particular outcomes, and there's no scoring system. It's a world made out of blocks in which children can build things. And on top of this very flexible world, a lot of different activities that are developed. So some people log on and fight and kill each other. Some people log on and build cities. And there are different subcultures within Minecraft. So I'm tapping into quite a particular one of those subcultures, which is creative building, in which people collaboratively, so with their friends, they'll log on and they'll build and design objects, and they'll be competitive, and they'll look at each other's things and say that's cool. And so it's an existing children's activity that I'm simply like adding something to. So fly around, you can see there's a castle. Each of these little squares underneath you is a building plot. So these are spaces that children can go into, build something, and print objects. That's over here. So someone in the middle of building quite a nice castle over here. This is diamond blocks and gold. Even though the prints most kids will do of this tend to be kind of monochrome, but they still quite like building in colour and having quite fancy objects. So I'll just go and print this. I'll go and find something to print. Oops, here we go. I'll print this character over here. The things kids tend to build are houses, buildings, fancy buildings, characters. There's a kind of, it's got a weird gas mask, and it's like a. And so once the kid's built his model, which is just a normal Minecraft gameplay, he can press this button here. It says print underneath. That model is now sent off. I've slightly over-architected the back end because I'm overwrite software, so that's what I do. add complexity to a simple thing. That's been sent off and it's been processed. And if I click on this link, it says, do I want to open it? So yes. This is now that model in a web page. There's a little WebGL preview. And, because my screen, so you can see it. If I click download, that STL file.